Hey everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day. My day's going pretty well. I even having a little audience here for this. There he is right there. Anyway, today I want to talk to you guys about pattern interrupters. When we have habits, especially negative habits, it's often quite difficult to change those and replace them with other behaviors. So, a technique that I use personally is these pattern interrupters. Essentially, implementing an action or changing the environment in a way that makes it more difficult or nearly impossible to do the previously enforced habit, the negative behavior. And this was brought to my attention after the last video, where I challenged everyone to spend 3 days being only kind to people who were not kind to them or who had wronged them in some way. I had a few conversations with my wife and other close friends about this and ran into a common dilemma, which is that all of this empathy talk and all of this is great and easy to do when you're not mad, but then as soon as this happens, we instinctually, as soon as someone wrongs us or we feel that we've been wronged, we instinctively or we reflexively shift away from this empathetic perspective and move towards anger. And then once angry, it's nearly impossible to remain kind to someone else. So, pattern interrupters. Let's interrupt the pattern of becoming angry. The way that I've found to do this is through gratefulness. Now, you might have come across quite a bit of gratefulness talk in the internet recently. I know I personally have implemented over the last couple of years a bunch of gratefulness practice into my life. Each morning I take a walk or I take a drive and I ask myself a few questions, one of them being, what am I grateful for today? I have alarms on my phone each day where they remind me to engage with people and express to them my specific appreciation for them. And then I tend to journal at the end of the day, and one of the things that I consistently write down are things that I'm appreciative for going well, or things that I am, in other words, grateful for. But even with all of this, it seems pretty easy to run into the habit of becoming angry. So I've had to implement this specific pattern interrupter, and that is gratefulness in the moment. In my experience, it's nearly impossible to be grateful for someone and angry at them at the same time. Or at the very least, it's nearly impossible to be as angry at them once you remember what you're grateful for. Now, I understand that this can sound cheesy. Why should I be grateful for someone who I'm angry at? But in my experience, the people who I most often run into these sticky situations with are friends and loved ones. And gratefulness practice, far from being useless, is actually the one thing that brings me back to reality. When I'm angry at someone, it's easy to believe that this is the only thing about them. You get a very tunnel vision where it feels like this person is the action that they did to you. This person is just evil. They're just mean. They're just selfish. They're just whatever. But being in the moment, thinking, what am I grateful for about this particular person, allows you to bring that current behavior into a broader perspective. It allows you to remember the positive things about that person and remind yourself that this is just one negative moment within the sea of those positive experiences. All right, so here's what I challenge you to do. When you find yourself becoming angry with someone, force yourself to think about one or two specific things for which you are grateful about them. I know for me, I often go straight to things such as, for my wife, she is a wonderful mother. She's an excellent person overall. She is a hard worker and has no problem getting shit done. All right. Now, it'll be different. What you're grateful for each person will be different, and that's fine. It needs to be unique and personal to you, so that way you can find your positive feelings for that person, and you can put this one singular negative situation into the entire complete context, seeing reality as clearly as you can in the moment. So, as usual, this isn't easy. Clearly it's easier to stay angry at a person who we are upset with, but it is not useful. And so, in our quest to have better lives, to be better people, to be kinder, more empathetic people, we need to understand that it's going to be difficult, but that these changes we make to our own personal behavior will in the end be worth it. We will cause less harm to those we love, and we will cause less harm to ourselves by ruminating and exaggerating the negative things that happen to us. All right? Try this. Let me know how it goes down in the comments. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.